Good morning. Good morning to me. Good afternoon to you who are on Central and Eastern Time. It's noon Central. Welcome to our Tuesday edition of our Q&A here on our YouTube channel. Right now what you're seeing are pictures that have been submitted by some of our drivers here in the last week. And some of these were posted a couple weeks ago that I had just recently seen. But if you have pictures you'd like to share, feel free to send them our direction. Facebook.com/DTL link, and we'll be able to share those for you guys. Great pictures, by the way. Beautiful. Hey, Bob. Bob is here. Corbin, hello from East Chicago. You made it again. Corbin, I have a safety picture, or our safety message today has got a picture that you submitted, I believe. I believe that's the one I used. So welcome, you guys. We're going to go through a little bit of what we did yesterday on our Facebook channel. So if you missed our Facebook, no worries. There's a replay, but we also discuss a lot of that here on our YouTube channel as well. So you've got up-to-date information in both areas. So welcome. If you guys have any questions, basically how this goes is it's a Q&A, and every week we provide a Monday version on our Facebook page and then a Tuesday version here on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat, and between myself and Anna, we'll be taking care of you guys and answering those questions. And if you have any questions about the area in which we hire, feel free to just throw your zip code in. Let us know what city, state you're in, or just the zip code itself would be fine. And we'll let you know what we've got available in the area, whether it's refrigerated, flatbed, van, hopper, Conestoga. We've got a little bit of everything depending on where you're at. Bob says, waiting to get loaded at the port. Yay me! At Katsu. All right, so yes, welcome. Let us know your questions and we'll answer them. In the meantime, we're going to just do a little chatting and keep you updated. Let's start off with the safety message. Looks like we're frozen already. Let's start off with the safety message, since that was the topic. There we go. Corbin, that's yours, right? That's your picture? I think so. Kind of drew it out a little bit, but safety message for the week. Well, we've got one of them here. It's your responsibility to ensure that the cargo you're hauling is safe for travel. And yes, we do pick up some cargo that needs to be adjusted when it comes to the securement, the tarping and the securement. So always double check whenever you're picking up a load. So it's your responsibility to check that cargo. Make sure it's safe for travel. And then, to avoid any shifting, any possible rollovers or movement of the load itself, make sure that it's properly secured. If you have any questions, regarding the securement, the strapping, the tarping, anything like that, make sure that you reach out to our safety department, or you can also reach out to training, and usually Tanner's available there for the training department as well to answer those questions. But if not, hop on our YouTube channel here. We do have a number of different available videos that you can use for the securement training as well. So we've got how to slide the tandems, doing a pre-trip, doing a post-trip, securing steel beams or steel sheets, We've got securing coils. So we do have a number of different ones that you can use to help really answer some of those questions on how you're doing it. Helping you out. There we go. Bob, 51537. Got a couple of different options there. Oh, we got a couple. We've got J American Trucker, South Dakota. Let's take a look at it. 85041. Let's bring up my map here. 041. So you are out of... Oh, it helps when I put it in there right. Out of Phoenix. Yeah, we've got stuff out of Phoenix there. We've got over-the-road refrigerated, which would get you home about every 2 to 3 weeks. You'd be running coast to coast, although most of it's going to be west of the Mississippi. So about 70% of the freight is going to be west of the Mississippi. Again, hauling refrigerated, anything from ice cream to pork, chicken, cheese, Produce, we do a lot of produce as well. We do some alcohol. So yeah, that's the type of stuff that you'll be hauling from west to Midwest for the most part, even though it is a coast-to-coast position. And it's about 2 to 3 weeks out at a time. We figure for every day you're out, it's about a for every 7 days you're out, it's about a day and a half home time for you. If you guys have any questions, I do leave the number up here, 888-668-0698. And you can just call right in, get a hold of a recruiter right away, or continue with the chat here. You can also apply online at drivedecker.com. Drivedecker.com right there. Corbin says, that's my old truck. Oh, you do miss your shiny truck. Yep, Corbin had to get a new one. What did you say, transmission? Yes, indeed. 59102. That sounds like a Montana zip code to me. Billings. So, out of Rocky Mountain Trucker, gotta know it. So, we are able to hire out of Missoula, or out of Montana, if you're leaving the tractor and trailer in Missoula on your home time. So, that is the restriction right now. So, otherwise, it's a 50-mile radius of Missoula, leaving the tractor trailer there. Great question. Yes, indeed. And bam. So we have out of Bob's neck of the woods, the 51537 out of Iowa there. We have refrigerated, we have van, we have flatbed, really, home weekly. We've got some guaranteed pay options. Anna's already laughing at them. Lots of different options out of that area. What do I see here? 55987. Corbin. Let's see if I can get it in there. Okay. Out of Minnesota. I thought that was you. Okay. So yes, we have flatbed out of there, obviously. Flatbed, which would be able to get you home on a weekly basis. We have refrigerated as well, but either option. Home weekly in both of those. Hey, Daniel. Good to have you. Yep, Anna answered. In Billings, if you leave your tractor and trailer in Missoula on your hometown, you betcha. Then why am I not there? Well, let me tell you. Let's bring in the conversation for requirements. How about we do that? Not throwing you under the bus, Bob. All right, so let's talk about some of the requirements here at Decker. First off, if you're looking to get in our flatbed division, based out of Bessemer, Alabama. So Bessemer, northern Alabama, runs coast to coast. It puts you out about a week at a time if you live in northern Alabama or northern Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina area. That's about a weekly home time for you in those areas. And then, Bob, I didn't say anything. Just kidding. Okay, so that's weekly home time for you, meaning you're coming in like on a Friday night or Saturday morning and then leaving back out on a Sunday night or a Monday morning. So that's one option there for you. Also, you've got the over-the-road option where it's coast to coast and you're out 2-3 weeks at a time. You can do that as well. But if you're coming home on a weekly basis, you're probably going to run a more regional type position than you would over the road. It's still part of the over the road division, but they'll probably have you swap loads more often or take some of the shorter runs in order to get you home on that home time. That being said, the majority of our hiring area for that flatbed division runs anywhere from Texas, say Dallas, Houston, Texas areas over to the Carolinas. So everything in between, Arkansas, Texas and Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi. You've got, of course, Alabama and Georgia and North and South Carolina, Tennessee, Oklahoma. We've got some in Oklahoma as well. So all good areas for you for about 2 weeks out at a time. That's usually coming in on a weekend, every other weekend for that home time. We also hire out of the Kentucky area, out of PA, out of areas in Wisconsin and Ohio. And so if you're looking for over-the-road flatbed, we do have a wider range from the Midwest to the East. than we do in some of the other divisions right now. So we do require 1 full year of over-the-road, or 1 full year of flatbed experience. So 1 full year of flatbed experience in order to qualify for that flatbed division out of Bessemer. You guys have any questions whatsoever, ask them here in the chat, or go ahead and call the recruiter at 888-668-0698 right there. Bob, you're awesome. And Daniel says Texas. So yes, Texas, I've got a couple of different options. Texas, I've got, let's see, refrigerated and flatbed out of the Dallas area, as well as Houston. Parts around San Antonio, I've got a couple of different options for you there. Amarillo, Texas, I've got refrigerated for you out of there. We usually like to stay within a 50-mile radius of those larger cities. So those are the options right out of Texas there for you, Daniel. Now that being said, when it comes to refrigerated, we require 9 months of tractor trailer experience for the refrigerated division. So it doesn't necessarily have to be refrigerated, but if it is, awesome, it'll be an easy transition for you. So again, for refrigerated and van, it's 9 months of tractor trailer experience. So that's the experience requirement. I got a question yesterday. Yes, you do need to be 21 years old or older for a position, because you do need to have the ability to run interstate. So interstate, not inter, in order to go to multiple states, because it is an over-the-road position. And for that matter, because the experience we require, I imagine you're going to be more than 21, for the most part. J American Trucker says, in what area do you, what position, where do you live here? I didn't see a zip code there for you, J American. Did I? Oh, I lied, out of South Dakota. Or, hang on, 85041. Let me double check this one. Oh, out of Arizona. Bouncing back and forth here. So what areas do we run for the over-the-road refrigerated out of Missoula? It's coast to coast. Even though the majority of it's going to be west of the Mississippi, it is still a coast-to-coast position. So good question. Good question on that one. Corbin said swinging out of Minnesota. Yes, we do have some out of Minnesota. We've got van out of Minneapolis. You need to be within a 50-mile radius of Minneapolis for that van position. Refrigerated, for the most part, looking at about 50-mile radius. Well, south of Minneapolis is great for us. DJ Hollywood. Hey. Here in Missoula. Good deal. What else? J America says, in what areas do you have guaranteed pay, and how much is it, and do you have it in flatbed? Yes, we do have it in flatbed. And for the areas you're looking at, well, I'm going to give you a whole layout here. For flatbed, it would be in the Midwest for the guaranteed pay of $1,350 a week, so $1,350 a week. If you live anywhere from Mason City, Iowa to Fort Dodge, Iowa, up to Chicago, up further to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, back down to Mason City, anywhere along that route, if you live within 25-mile radius of the interstate there that you'll be running on, that one will get you home on the weekends, coming in on like a Friday night or Saturday morning, and then leaving back out on a Sunday night or Monday morning, depending on the load. It won't be the same every single time, but it'll be within those guidelines. But that's $1,350 a week, $1,350 a week. The pay itself, the base pay, if you weren't getting the guaranteed pay, and I'll tell you the qualifications for that in just one moment, but if you didn't get the guaranteed pay, it'd be anywhere from 47 to 54 cents a mile, depending on your experience. Okay? Now, that being said, for the qualifications, you're looking at making sure that you've got your paperwork in on time, and we have both the TransFlow app and the onboard scanners in the truck, so make it easy for you. And then being available for dispatch, no driver service failures, no late loads, and of course getting all of your paperwork in on time. I do think I mentioned that. So that's going to determine whether you're qualified or not qualified for that guaranteed pay each week. What else did you ask? And also for the guaranteed pay, If you live anywhere from, if you live in Omaha, if you live in Fort Dodge, a couple of different locations out of Iowa, we do have a short haul position, which is guaranteed pay. The short haul position is home multiple times throughout the week and on the weekends. You do need to be available for dispatch, no driver service failures, getting your paperwork in on time, and no load refusals. So those are all the same qualifications for the guaranteed pay of $1,000 for the short haul, which again, multiple times throughout the week, not just on the weekend. 888-668-0698 for more details. You betcha. No problem, Daniel. And I tell Jesse to hire me. Howard. Hey, Howard. Good to see you. Mr. Howard Lewis in the house. Risky Red. DJ Hollywood. How come I never know who's DJ Hollywood? I hate it when I don't know you guys. Do you hire people with no experience? As of right now, no. We do require that you have either a year of flatbed experience for our flatbed division out of Bessemer or 9 months of tractor trailer experience for any of our other divisions. So those are our requirements right now. Thank you for asking that. Because you misspelled my name. That's right. Scott. Hey, Scott. Hello. Thanks for hopping on. Oh, let's see. Jay American said, is that not pay? I'm not sure what you're asking me. Oh, it's Matt. I should have known that. Okay. Jay American Trucker. So let me make sure that I'm answering your question. Net pay. Got you. Okay, now I'm following you. No, the $1,350 a week and the $1,000 a week guaranteed pay, those are gross. So whatever you have out in taxes or whatever insurance you add, if you're going to take advantage of the 401k, which is a 30% match, then all of those things will be taken out of that guaranteed pay amount, because the guaranteed pay is just the gross. So that's the hard part, is everybody has different things taken out. Some people have garnishments, some people, a lot of people don't, but there's just a lot of factors in that to determine, what you're claiming, what your net pay will end up being. I do not, Bob. Man, he's giving me a hard time today. Also for requirements. So we did talk about experience, we talked about age. You do need to make sure that you don't have any major moving violations in the last 3 years. So one major moving violation could disqualify you up to 3 years. Let's talk about some of those. Major moving violations would include following too close, erratic lane change or improper lane change. Those are going to be weighted the same. Using a cell phone or a mobile device, if you're not using your hands free, that they can ticket you. Those suckers suck. Those are not good tickets, and they will hurt you. Yes, Howard, 30% match on the 401k. It changed. I think it's been a year now that we were able to bump it up to 30%. It might have been in the end of 2018, but I think it was in 2019 that we changed it to 30 from the 20. So no major moving violations. Also, a major moving violation would be reckless, of course, reckless, careless, DUIs. Any DUIs in a commercial vehicle have to be at least 5 years old, 3 years in a personal vehicle. But it doesn't matter if your major moving violation was in a commercial or a personal vehicle. It has to be minimum of 3 years. And that's including any speeding tickets that are 15 miles per hour or more. All of those have to be a minimum of 3 years old. Driving without a commercial license, also a major moving violation. So I know a lot of you guys are unaware of that, so I do want to let you know that. Bob says, you never messaged me what you thought about... Oh, I thought you were messaging me. I was actually waiting for you to message me. Scott says, are you still hiring out of Las Vegas? Yes, sir, Scott. Still planning on it there for you. We do. We have a couple positions. We've got the 2 positions out of Las Vegas in the over-the-road refrigerated position where you're out 14 to 17 days at a time, home for 2 to 3. J American Trucker says, last question, in what areas do you have Conestoga and what's the pay scale? So Conestoga is actually in Tifton, Georgia. It's a Tifton, Georgia run. It is dedicated. So, you know what? I'm going to back up for just a second, because when you were asking me about the guaranteed pay with the short haul position and with the and just with the home weekly position, those are not dedicated. So it's a variety of customers that we have. We're just able to work with them and work with logistics of it and get you home that often. Whereas with the Conestoga, it is a dedicated customer that you'd be running for. So it is multiple different locations, multiple locations that you'd be running anywhere in South Carolina, it'd be in Tennessee, in Alabama, Florida, and of course Georgia. Those are locations that you'd be seeing, but it is just the one customer, therefore dedicated. It's $750 for the guaranteed pay, home multiple times throughout the week. It does depend on, like one week you might be home 3 times for the week, another week you might be home 4 days out of the week. So it could just depend, but it's $750 for the guaranteed pay. Same restrictions or same qualifications for the guaranteed pay, meaning no refusals, be available for dispatch, get your paperwork in on time, and no driver service failures. Did I say all those? I think I said them all. So those are the requirements for the Conestoga. The Conestoga is only out of Tifton, Georgia. Great question. I have 2 positions, by the way, for that. And the base pay for that is 45 cents a mile. So if your miles exceed that of the, whatever the 750 would be, then you're going to get the better of the 2, of course. That's going to go the same with the dedicated, that's going to go the same with the guaranteed pay for the refrigerated or the flatbed out of the Midwest as well. Oh, there you go. Anna's gone ahead and put that information there for you as well. It is hauling aluminum. Yes, indeed. Oh, sure. Let's bring those up. Yeah, talking about those qualifications. So those are the major moving violations that we can't work with for 3 years. Have to be at least 3 years old. Now, if you're going to have multiple ones, then you have to wait till the oldest one's off, because I can't even work with one of those. But if you have minor violations, like if you have a seatbelt violation or a speeding that's anywhere from 14 or below, maybe it's a 10 over or an 11 over, we can work with those in the last 3 years. We just can't work with a lot of those. Say you have 3 of those tickets in the last 12 months, that's too much. If you have 3 tickets, 3 moving violations, it doesn't have to be major, but if you have 3 moving violations within the last 12 months, we have to wait until one of those falls outside of the 12-month period. I can work with 3 within a 3-year period. I just can't work with 3 in a 12-month period. Jay American says, oh, thank you so much. I already work for Decker out of Bessemer, Alabama, and Flatbed, OTR. There you go. Yeah, the thing about YouTube is everybody has like different names, except for Bob and Howard. I got you guys. I got those. And of course, Clayton. And Corbin, you guys all have names that I recognize, but some of you guys have names that I don't recognize, so I'm just guessing at who they are. All right, Scott's on there. Anna says, to qualify for a Decker truck line, you must meet the following criteria. Must be at least 21 years of age, must possess a valid Class A CDL. That's another point. You must have a valid Class A CDL. You must have had a U.S. license for a minimum of 3 years. It doesn't have to be a CDL for 3 years, but just a U.S. United States license for 3 years. And, of course, the 1-year experience for flatbed and 9 months for the refrigerated and van. No DUIs within the past 3 years. No operating while operating a motor vehicle within the last 3 years, or if it was a commercial violation, it has to be at least 5 years old. No more than 3 moving violations in the last 3 years. No preventable accidents. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's been changed to 3. Yeah. No more than 3 in the past 3 years. Cool. Same with accidents as it is with the minor moving violations. So no more than 3 accidents in the last 3 years. Now, okay, that sounds worse than it is. 3 accidents, meaning backing up and hitting something, or maybe clipping a mirror while you're in a parking lot. Those are considered accidents. Incidents. Now, if it's a DOT recordable accident, that has to be at least 3 years old. So if you were towed if anybody was injured, if anybody was towed in the accident, if anybody was injured, if there was a fatality, or if the amount that the insurance paid or that the company or individual paid out was excessive, those will all determine whether or not it was a DOT recordable accident. Now you have preventable and you have non-preventable. The non-preventable accidents, they don't count against you because clearly they're non-preventable. They were out of your hands. Now, if it was a preventable accident, those are the ones that have to be at the very minimum 3 years old when it's DOT recordable. If it's not a DOT recordable, we can work with minor incidents in two, actually, within a 12-month period. If it's maybe clipping a mirror in a parking lot or hitting, those little poles that are in the parking lot, the little yellow ones. They're hard to see sometimes. If you hit one of those are considered minor accidents, and yes, we can work with those. Jamar says, how much is y'all pet policy? Well, we've got, we will allow one dog. It's 55 pounds or less, non-aggressive breed, and it's $750 for the pet policy. 100 of the $750 has to be down before your pet can ride with, or your dog can ride with. Also, in addition to that 100 down, you have to have all of the paperwork. Now, this is assuming that your dog is not a service dog. If it's a service dog, then we have the paperwork and stuff for the service dog. But if it's just a dog, the dog that you wanted to ride with you, for the dog policy, it's $750, $100 down before they can ride. We'll need shot records and, of course, a picture of the pup to put on file as well. And then $250 of the $750 is non-refundable. It goes towards the cleaning and detailing of the truck if you were to change trucks and whatnot. But the remaining $500's refundable. So if you're questioning, if you're currently with Decker and you're questioning whether or not your dog applies, give us a call, 888-668-0698, and we'll be able to give you that information. So that, again, that's the dog policy, 55 pounds or less for the dog policy. Rider policy, since that's usually my next question that I'm answering after that, is rider policy. It's $25 a month that they ride, so that covers the insurance. $25 a month, ages 10 to 69 years of age. There you go. And they can usually ride after, it's 90 days is the policy. Sometimes we can go for 30 days if you've got a spotless record, good work history, good safety record and everything. Then you're looking at possibly a waiver to the 30 days before you can have a rider. Scott says, well, shoot, my dog's 110 pound Bernese mountain dog. He does not ride with you, does he? That is a big dog. Jamar says, how much home time would you get every week you're out? We usually do it, so for every 7 days you're out, you figure a day and a half home time. It does depend on the division though. With Flatbed, you're not working on the weekends. You're not usually delivering on the weekends like you would. It's really regular to deliver on a Saturday or something for refrigerated. Not so much for the Flatbed division. So you're kind of looking at that, when you're coming back out on the road to determine if it's worth coming back on the road or if to wait a day until the freight is actually there. Because it doesn't do you any good if you're not able to pick up a load on that day. But yes, it's usually for every 7 days you're out, it's a day and a half home time. Scott says, yes, he does when they let him go. Must be wife? Yeah, that's a big dog. Does he get in there by himself? Because I'm picturing trying to help the dog up. That's a big dog. Jamar says, do you have heavy haul or specialized loads? We do a little bit of heavy haul, maybe about 5%. We really don't do much of that. Or special. Now, most of what we do is a lot of steel beams, coils. So the suicide coils, the steel beams, sheetrock or wallboard, building supplies, lumber. The heavy haul that we do have isn't usually like big equipment or anything like that. That's not very common. We have some, but not a lot. Scott says, no, I lift them up. There you go. That's your exercise. That's a good weight training. So, yes. Oh, I missed a question. Nope, I didn't. If you're wondering about different positions, like different driving positions that are available out of your area, you can give us a call or just put your zip code in there and I'll answer it. Okay, cool. So we talked a little bit about some of the accidents that we can work with and some we can't. So draw this line, if you have minor incidents or accidents, whatever you want to call them, if it's minor, meaning nobody was injured, there's no fatalities, and nobody was towed, wasn't a high value for damage, then you're probably safe. Those accidents, we can work with 2 of those in a 12-month period, or 3 in the last 3 years. But again, those are pretty minor accidents. Major accidents or DOT recordable accidents have to be at least 3 years old. Bob says 51537. Lots of options, Bob. Lots of options. Just gotta stop speeding. It's killing me. Scott said, what is the most common place you guys pick up in the Western Reefer Division? Washington is really good for us. Actually, let's kind of name this for you to give you a good picture. I don't know if there's just one particular place that's good for us, but we have multiple locations here. Seattle is very good. Seattle-Tacoma area. Olympia, Portland, Oregon area is really good. Actually, Eugene up to Seattle, anywhere along that route is really good. You can tell where our heavy areas are based off of our hiring. So anywhere from Eugene, Oregon to Seattle, Washington is real strong. Spokane, Coeur d'Alene area is really good. Boise, Idaho, really southern areas of Idaho, Twin Falls, those are all good. Along I-15 down to, in Idaho, along 15 down to Salt Lake City. That's going to get you great home time, 2 weeks out at a time, but great freight as well, good miles out of there. So those are all really good area. Phoenix, Arizona is another good spot. Las Vegas. Now, Las Vegas and Reno we've got freight out of. I would not say that those are the most common. Those are probably some of the very common areas that I hear, but when it comes to freight and number of drivers that we have out of those areas, I would say that Washington's probably the strongest. Washington, Utah. What did I miss? Jamar says, I heard you all have TV and also DirecTV and microwaves. True story. You bet we do. Yeah, actually, amenities, you're looking at APU units, bunk heaters, refrigerators, CB units, navigation, Sirius radio, onboard scanners in the truck. We have the smart drive system, so it's the inward and outward facing event recorders. Oh, for the Sirius radio, you do need to have a subscription. So we take care of all of the hardware. It's all installed and everything, but you'll need to have a subscription. However, you refer 2 or more drivers within 2020, we pay 12 months subscription for you. So there's a perk to that. Now, the microwaves and the TVs are in about 90% of the trucks. Those that don't have them, those are trucks that we are getting out there. We're taking them out of the fleet and we've got new ones coming in. So we're actually starting to get new trucks right now that we've been waiting on since April. COVID kind of threw a wrench in a few things, so had to wait for some of those trucks to come in. But now they are now coming in, and the ones that don't currently have the company paid DirecTV, which is 100 plus channels, it's including Showtime and Cinemax and the Sunday Ticket, and so HBO, did I say that one? But anyway, so it's 100 plus channels, and yes, it's company paid, and yes, they also have microwaves. But if you're getting a truck, if you come aboard and you're getting a truck that doesn't have the microwave and the TV in it, don't worry, we'll be getting it in there pretty darn soon because you'll be getting a different truck in that man. Jamar says, how much do you get for the lease program and is it worth it? So first off, the microwave and the TVs are not available in the lease purchase, since that was your question just previously. And the lease purchase is worth it in the over-the-road flatbed division. Our over-the-road flatbedders do really well with it. It's a percentage pay. It's 72% of the load, plus the 100% of the fuel surcharge, and that's on all dispatch miles, so it's loaded and empty. However, you do need to have a $1,500 down payment before you transition into the lease purchase, and you do need to run as a company driver for 90 days first. So here's the thing with our 90-day requirement. In 90 days, we want to make sure that your scorecard, which is basically a point system that we use to determine what your monthly bonus is, because you have up to 5 cents more per mile you can get in bonuses, 4 cents just with the scorecard itself. Now, if your scorecard is $8.50 or above on a regular basis, so for those 3 months, then we're feeling pretty darn good that you're going to have success in that lease purchase. That means that you've got a good handle on your fuel efficiency, your idle time, you're running the miles, you're available for dispatch, and you don't have those preventable accidents or late loads or anything like that. Your CSA points are good. Those are all points, or those are all really factors that would determine how successful you could be in the lease purchase program. And if you're doing well there with those numbers, $8.50 or above, then honestly, we've seen great success for our drivers that have been averaging $8.50 or above on that scorecard. So yes, the lease purchase would be worth it if you're in the flatbed division right now. We are not offering it in the refrigerated as of right now, but again, you do need to run for 90 days as a company driver and then have that $1,500 down payment, which you can kind of just accumulate, put in an escrow as you're beginning your 90 days. Bob says, I haven't had a ticket in more than a year. Woohoo! Bob says, you may have to go to Mr. Decker to get that approved. Howard says, yep, TV, and I love it. Good deal. Anna says, for some reason, recruiters are not allowed to have Epic View in their office. Go figure. It's like driving down the road with Epic View. It's just not a good idea. Bob says, never give a truck driver free HBO, Cinemax, and Showtime. Wrong! Too bad we did it. Jamar says, do you have dollar payouts? Can you elaborate on that? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Then I'll be able to answer that better for you. Can't answer it right now, I'm not sure. No? Okay. I'll wait to answer that until I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, for the lease? Yeah, I still don't know dollar payouts, what you're saying. It pays on a 1099, of course, for the lease purchase, and we pay every week direct deposit, just like we do with our company drivers. Weekly paycheck. Now, the cutoff for it has changed. The cutoff is now on Sunday instead of Saturday, so that's a plus. I'm not sure. Oh, balloon payouts? Oh, that's what. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, we do. Thanks, Bob. Don't repeat yourself what you said earlier today about I just don't get it. Okay, so to answer your question, Jamar, yes, if I'm answering it the way that Bob is suggesting, balloon payments, yes, the trucks do have a balloon payment at the end. It's a 4-year lease term, so it's $675 per week, and you don't start the payments for 2 weeks because we figure you need a little grace period to transition into that. So it's $675 a week for 4 year, and there's a balloon payment of $67,000 at the end. So the big lump sum at the end. Okay, hopefully that answered your question. Cool. Okay, so back to the qualifications for both our company drivers, our lease purchase, and our owner-operators. The qualifications are going to be the same whether you're an owner-operator, lease purchase, or company driver, so know that as well. Also, the one factor that we figure in is your work history. We are looking for somebody to come on and stay. We are taking care of you. We want that in return. We're making an investment, we're making an investment in you, not only time-wise but also financially. And so we want to see a good work history coming in It tends to reflect how long you'll be here and how you'll work with us, how easy it is to work with you and vice versa. So if you guys have any questions on any of our drivers in different positions that we've had, we have several drivers that are willing to visit with you a little bit about their experience with Decker, kind of like a testimonial, I guess, but it's kind of nice to run that information off some of our drivers so you've got a better feel for the company, before you come in. So if you have any questions, yes, Anna says hire to retire. That's exactly right. But if you have questions, you can actually check out our YouTube channel, which you're on, but check out some of the testimonials in there and they'll give you a good feel. I think we have a testimonial from almost every division that we have. We've got other drivers that are willing to reach out and answer some questions as well. So let me know if you wanted to talk to any of them. And I appreciate that, by the way, for all of you who have offered that. Any other questions? Well, since we're on the topic of qualifying and whatnot, I have an update for you, if I can find it. I have an update on the FMCSA ruling for June. Now, this doesn't go into effect until September. So remember that. It's been decided. It's the 2020 regulation change, but it doesn't actually go into effect until September 29th. So 4 different changes that have been made in the ruling. The first one is more of the commercial short haul. So it's changed from the 12 consecutive hours and 100 miles to 150 air miles. Again, this is short haul. 150 air miles and 14 hours. So that maximum on-duty time and air miles has changed for the Class A CDL short haul. That's an exemption for short haul only. Repeat that. And then also this one, we weren't sure how it was going to go, but adverse weather conditions, they did change that. So for the adverse weather conditions, now the ruling states that if a driver encounters unexpected adverse driving conditions, they are now allowed to extend their 14-hour driving window by an additional 2 hours to complete the run for the day. So, and remember, these are FMCSA. We'll give you more of an update as the company adjusts to it as well. FMCSA also slightly modified the definition to allow that the driver have more discretion with determining if the adverse driving condition exemption applies to them or not. The 30-minute rest break. Now this brought up a little bit of discussion in yesterday's video, but the 30-minute rest break requirement, basically that a break will only be required after a driver accumulates 8 hours of driving time as opposed to on-duty time. So driving time, and allowing that the break be satisfied by on-duty, not driving time, and or off-duty time. So those are the regulations. That's the 30-minute rest break, how that's been adjusted. Now the split sleeper berth, there we go. FMCSA rule change allows drivers using the split sleeper berth exemption to split their off-duty periods into 2 off-duty periods, providing at least one is 2 hours and the other involves at least 7 hours of consecutive hours. So at least 2 hours, and then the other one involves 7 consecutive hours spent in the sleeper berth. Here we go. Ooh. In other words, 8 hours plus 2 hours or 7 hours plus 3 hours are now allowed. So neither period actually counts towards the 14-hour, or neither period counts toward the 14-hour driving window. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. Bob says, I always get the 150 miles on his short hauls. All right, so the impact. This came from Spirian, the fleet management. This is the message that came out. Just kind of giving a little bit more in-depth understanding of the impact of each of these new rulings from FMCSA. So with the impact of the short haul, obviously, a lot of it's cut and dried, but it provides flexibility by increasing the number of drivers able to take advantage of those short haul miles or of the short haul exemption. So this is a record-keeping exemption, meaning that drivers and carriers using it are not required for the ELDs. Now for the adverse driving conditions, really for more of an impact on that, more detail on that, it provides flexibility by allowing drivers time to park and then wait for the adverse conditions to pass or to drive slowly through it. When you're up in the Midwest states, or Midwest states, yes, but even the Northwest states, of course, is what I was going to say. That's going to probably come in handy. Park, wait for the weather to pass, which sometimes just takes you long enough to think maybe I should put chains on, and then decide, nope, I'm not going to put chains on, and then you can hop back in and go, right? Wait 5 minutes, and then it'll change. The 30-minute rest break adds flexibility for the drivers by allowing on-duty and not driving time to count towards a rest break, and it reduces the number of drivers required to take a rest, since most don't do more than the 8 hours in a shift, don't drive more than 8 hours in a shift. That's most. There's most definitely exemptions. Bob says egg exempt. Oh yes, of course. I forgot that's what you're doing. Split sleeper berth improves flexibility for drivers, potentially increase the use of the sleeper berth because drivers are using a berth that have additional hours to complete in the 11 hours of driving. So that's really the impact of the sleeper berth rule as well. But you can get all this information on FMCSA website to keep you updated there. We did send out an email to our drivers with this information so that you did have it handy. If you have questions, you let us know. How is that? All right. Yes, here you go. Let us know at 888-668-0698. We are running out of time, and I haven't even got to brag about some of our winners for the Driver of the Month. Driver of the Month. So Driver of the Month for May was announced this last week. It was after our live, so I didn't get to show those off for the Driver of the Week. Driver of the Month. There we go. Let's bring that up so you guys can all see it. Maybe. Drive of the Month for May. Oop. That's not showing. Sorry, you guys. I'll get this showing a little bit better for you. We'll just move it around. There we go. We'll just move it around so it's a little easier for you to see. So, Western Refrigerated out of Missoula, Montana. Berta Barnett, the winner for the Driver of the Month. Driver of the Month for each of the divisions gets a $100 gift card to Walmart. So you get a $100 gift card to Walmart, plus you get $50 towards the Decker store. So it's a $50 gift card to the Decker store. Now, there are nominees for several of the different divisions. Not all of the divisions had nominees, but because basically it depends on how many drivers we have in each division will determine how many nominees there can be. So for the refrigerated division out of Missoula, Montana, we were able to have one nominee and then, of course, one winner. So the nominees get a $50 gift card to Walmart, and then they get a gift from the Decker store that Steph will send out. And Sean Lanfear was the nominee for the month of May. So congratulations, you two. And then Thomas Melton for our Midwest Flatbed. Now, our Midwest Flatbed is a smaller division, so again, we don't have a nominee for that one. But our winner, Thomas Melton. Owner-operator Lease Purchase, James Stillberg. There you go. Again, smaller division. So we just have one winner for that. No nominees. Our Midwest Refrigerated is our largest division here at Decker. We had Todd Overson as our winner, $100 Walmart gift card and $50 gift card to the Decker store. Steve Alliger, Michael Dosh are both nominees, and both receiving a $50 Walmart gift card and a gift from the Decker store. Southern Flatbed, Antonio Fernandez, you were the winner for the month of May, and Roderick Toomer, nominee. Our team, Vicky Bowling and Richard Reed, congratulations to our team. And our over-the-road refrigerated team is what they run. So congratulations to all of our winners. Now, in case you didn't know, as a winner of the Driver of the Month, that puts you in the running for Driver of the Year. Each division has Driving of the Year. Bob, I just saw your comment. 11 hours of driving? Why? Why such a short day? Well, you talk to some people, that is a very short day. Anyways, but if you didn't know, the driver of the month puts you in the running for driver of the year. The driver of the year is additional bonuses. So the driver of the year bonus is a $3,000 bonus for each division who wins that. So of course we've got our lease purchase, like you just saw, lease purchase, team, Midwest refrigerated, Midwest, Midwest flatbed, and so Midwest refrigerated and van are in the same. And then our over-the-road refrigerated as well. So, hey Mike, good to have you, bud. So those are all of the different categories that you can, or different divisions that you can win for the driver of the year. $3,000 in cash that will be rewarded usually around March, April of the following year, as we calculate our winners and we have them judged upon. So you'll get the rulings on all of that. And the driver of the year for each division is then put into the category of grand champion. Now we only have one grand champion, and they get $15,000 in cash. So all rewarded during the same ceremony. $15,000 in cash versus $3,000, not too shabby. Yes, indeed. And then we also will be rewarding during that ceremony most of our million-mile winners, 1, 2, 3, 4 million-mile winners as well. Scott says, are you guys requiring that we use chains, or is it an option, or more say a discretion of the driver? Definitely a discretion of the driver. Now we're going to have chains on all of our trucks, of course, but really it's going to be the discretion of the driver. We figure you're the professional, your eyes are actually there, you're seeing what's out on the road, and you're going to be able to know if your skill set is going to be able to handle it. Everybody has a different skill set, a different comfort level, and we're relying on you. That being said, if there's somebody else, if there's another Decker truck going down the road and we know that and you're sitting there waiting, we're going to ask, and you can just flat out tell us, nope, I don't feel comfortable driving in it. I figure I'll wait a couple of minutes and I should be able to go. Those are all things, it's a safety thing. We know that. We're not going to put you in any jeopardy there. We want to make sure that you're staying safe. Safety first. Safety first, people. Safety first. But good question, Scott. Yeah, it is definitely the discretion of the driver. Howard says he enjoyed his 1-year company anniversary with the bottle. Yeah, Johnny Walker Blue. Well, but not in the truck, I assume. So, yes, congratulations. 1 year for Howard. Congratulations. Chains case by case. Yep. Mike. All right. Okay, so that was our driver of the month. We have more bonuses than driver of the month, though. Let's dive in a little bit, right? Also, we have our monthly bonuses, and we've been reviewing these the last couple of months as well, or last couple of weeks, excuse me. Just kind of giving an update on where our numbers have been. Every couple of weeks we'll give you an update. We want to see these numbers. We want to see them go up. We want to see over 80,000 paid out every single month in bonuses alone. That's what we want to see. At least, right? Well, let's take a look at our... Let me see if I can squeeze this into one so you guys can see this a little bit better. All right, so this is our May 2020. Nope, still not doing a very good job of letting you guys see this. I'm getting there. There we go. Okay, slowly but surely. Here's the breakdown of this. In our driver scorecard, I mentioned it earlier today as well, but in our driver scorecard you can earn an extra 4 cents a mile. You've got 825 points to 899, get you an extra penny per mile. 900 to 949, extra 2 cents a mile. An extra 3 cents a mile for 950 to 999, and 1,000 points, perfect records, get you an extra 4 cents a mile. Now, if you remember me mentioning what it takes in order to get those bonuses or those points, you're looking at your idle time, your fuel efficiency, your CSA points, if you had any points put on for the month, if you had a preventable accident in the month, what your miles were, did I say that? On-time delivery, cargo claims. Those are all factors that would determine whether or not you would get your monthly bonus or not. Sorry, and I saw your messages. I just wanted to make sure I got those up there for you. So those are all going to determine whether or not you got your monthly bonus and to what percent you got your monthly bonus. So it pays up to 4 cents a mile. Now we also have the Smart Drive, which is an additional penny per mile, and you'll see that here when you're looking at this sign here. You'll actually see it right here, the little asterisk. If you get an extra penny per mile, if your score, your Smart Drive score, is a 20 or below. Now, I don't have the numbers for May on how many people had 20 or below, but for the previous month, we had 43% of our drivers that had 43%, so not quite half, that had a 20% or below, or 20 points or below. We had 32 that were at 0, which is not too shabby. We always want to see better though, because then that just means we're paying out more. So again, you can see that the numbers, now if the numbers for May did go down, we want to see them go up. So let's see them go up. Let's work together and increase these bonuses. 60,000 would be, 80,000 would rock. I want to see more of that. So here are the bonus payouts. Congratulations that we've got several that had 1,000 points. Stephen Alliger, Robert Anderson, Benedict Boston. You can see these names right here. Can I highlight them? There you go. There we go. Ronald Birkin, Anthony Clayton, Arthur Clubb, Lydia Dietrich, Michael Dosh, Daniel Douglas, Benjamin Eby, Antonio Fernandez. You see some of these driver of the month. You know, it's really common for the driver of the months to get the full 1,000 points. Charles Gann, Charles was our 2019 driver grand champion. Kirby Goose, Cynthia and Todd Hopes, John Jablanc, Sean Lanfear, Dale Lehman, Thomas Melton, Todd Overson, Jerry Patterson, Derek Potter, Michael Reed, Michael Roth, Dean Sosick, Albert Smith Jr., Alan Smith Jr., Anthony Vasquez, James Wise, Christopher Zwett, Lee Hardsvig, David Jones, Franklin Lance, Jimmy Mahan Jr., Robert Maxey, Andrew McCants, Telly Montanez, Mark Naveri, William Statz, Sean Swallows, James Stolberg, Mark Thomas, and Victor Walker. Like I said, it's pretty darn common if you were to receive 1,000 points to get Driver of the Month. Yeah, I mean, it's easier to get Driver of the Month with 1,000 points because all of those are kind of factors in the Driver of the Month categories. So for our May 2020 bonus recap for our scorecard company-wise, we had 205 drivers receive the bonus. And average payout was about $200, just a little over $200, which ended up being about $42,000 for our company drivers. That is about $7,000 less, from the month before. So we want to see those numbers go up, people. Up. Let's get it up there. Smart Drive for the company side is an extra $15,000. That actually was just a hair over, about $200 more than the previous month. Average of $87 for that. Our owner-operators, right at that 7,000 mark for our for the scorecard bonus, and about 600 for the Smart Drive. I gotta tell you, I think, I would say so. Both our company and our owner-operators went down a little bit, for a total of $65,000 paid out for the month of May, for bonuses for the month of May. We'd love to see over 80,000, you guys. We are working together with that. We've got a team, a mentorship team that is working together, and we are trying to create an opportunity for you to increase your payouts. We want to see more and more of them. And Scott Simmons. To be. All right. Those are our monthly bonus. We do want to see those increase, you guys, and we're working together to get those up there. Safety message as well. Another safety message to remind you guys. I know with all these riots and everything that are going on, I'm hoping that they're subsiding a little bit. But just remember, avoidance is key. Hopefully you can see far enough ahead of you to be able to get out of a situation before it even happens. That's not always the case. We understand that. If you have any questions whatsoever, get a hold of your fleet manager on how to react to that. Get a hold of night operations, or even CO Ken Cromwell. All of them will be answering questions on how to address those. Plus, our shippers and consignees, they've been reporting some of that information out to us, so that we're able to pass that on to you as well on how to handle those situations. But please be safe, you guys. Your safety is very important to us, and hopefully to you as well. And we just want to make sure that you're staying on top of that. Okay. All right. Well, that's basically what I wanted to go over today. Now, don't leave me yet, because I do have an announcement for those of you who were not aware of it. But we have released our first podcast. So our first podcast, which will be next, well, let's see, today's Tuesday, so we'll have another one coming out on Thursday. The first full one is actually Thursday. We did our trailer on last Thursday. Every Thursday we'll be having a podcast, and if you haven't gotten a chance to see that, absolutely check that out. You can link to it, just search our podcast during Google Podcasts. It's Inside the Triangle. Jamar says, can you become a trainer, or have you already have experience coming on the company? Well, right now we do require that you have experience. We do have trainers, because in the past that we have taken inexperienced drivers, but as of right now we are requiring that they have experience. In the past, when we've done trainers, you have to have a minimum of a year with the company and good safety scores, getting good payouts for your scorecard bonus on a regular basis, so that we know that training obviously is headed in the right direction. But as of right now, we are not offering training opportunities because we require the experience. Thank you for the question. So our podcast is called Inside the Triangle. So if you're not familiar with that, Inside the Triangle, our Inside the Triangle podcast, that will be on Thursdays. So make sure you join us for the podcast. If you guys have any questions that you would like answered on the podcast, which would be awesome, I would love that, send us a message through email, podcast@deckermail.com. Grab your phone, hit the voice record your voice into the phone, and then email your question over to us, podcast@deckermail.com. That way we not only have your question and your answer on the podcast, but we actually have you asking the question, which I like. So yes, join us please for the podcast on Thursday. You'll be able to access that on some of the different networks, podcast.com, and I'll get a link for you too. That'll probably help. Let me get you a link, and you can click on that to access our podcast. Any other questions before I let you guys go? Don't forget, I need you to also subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you get notified every time we go live, which, by the way, is every Tuesday. Every Tuesday at noon Central. Alright. Okay, well, then I will talk to you guys all next week, next Tuesday. Keep your eyes open. We'll have a refrigerated training video coming out here shortly as well. But, use for our podcast. Thanks, you guys.